If you've never made a dark roux before, it's pretty basic. Take equal parts flour and oil and cook in a pot over medium heat until dark brown. But it takes forever. So I met with Poppy Tooker to learn some shortcuts. Hey Poppy, thanks for having us here.
Oh, thanks for coming to my kitchen. Well, roux is the soul of everything that we cook here. Every recipe, no matter what it is, always starts off, first you make a roux and then you add your seasonings. So once you get that combination together of the dark roux and the celery, bell pepper, and onions, you can take that base and it's like the mother roux. You can make whatever you want. Griots, étouffées, gumbos, you name it, it all starts off with the same base, roux. The role of the roux in Creole cooking is really to be a coloring agent, a flavoring agent, and lastly, a thickening agent. Common misconception is this is an ingredient that you have to stand and stir and stir and stir over a hot fire. You used to hear people talking about the 1 beer roux and the 2 beer roux. Well, you don't have time to pick up a beer when you're making the roux my way. So this is going to be the fast cooked roux. The only true difference in the end result is that the fast cooked roux, done the way that we're going to do it, results in slightly less thickening power. So you can just make a little bit extra roux if you want. That's going to work out too.
But if we're going with a dark roux anyways,
yes,
dark roux have lower thickening power to begin with.
Exactly, because the more you cook the flour, the less it can puff up. Your general proportion is going to be equal parts oil and flour. Now, the only reason for the oil, other than to give it that little richness, that slip on the tongue, is to act as a vehicle for the flour particles. So the flour particles get moved around in the roux, which means that if you're nervous about making a roux, then you're going to want to add a little more oil, which will add to the ease in being able to stir it up. The very favorite cooking oil of the Creoles was bacon grease.
Bacon grease.
Or lard.
I'm down with that.
So if you've got the bacon grease, use the bacon grease. Otherwise, you're going to go to a vegetable oil, a canola oil, because what you're looking for is an oil that's going to have a very, very, very high smoke point. You would never use olive oil. Very distinctive flavor with olive oil, low smoke point. You would never, never use butter when you're making a Creole roux.
Who would use butter in a roux?
Somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. Well, the French would use butter, but you would never use butter in our roux because the butter would burn. Right, long before you had the roux cooked to the color you really wanted it. Now, look in the pot.
It's changing color already here.
It's changing color already, and you see we're starting to get some of that wonderful, that roux scent coming up out of the pan.
Where should we stop in terms of
Hershey's chocolate bar?
Hershey's chocolate bar?
Hershey's chocolate bar.
Like dark chocolate or?
No, Hershey's chocolate bar. Milk chocolate, the traditional Hershey's chocolate bar. And we're almost there. Look at this. See, it happens, once it starts to happen, it happens quick, 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 quick.
What's the difference between a Creole gumbo and the...
no time to talk about that now.
No, we've got to add the onions.
Just hold your horses for just a minute, because this is, we are right in the most crucial point. We're going to add the onions. You can see that beautifully, can't you?
That's changed so much in just since we added the onion.
Right. We are not caramelizing the onions. Instead, the natural juices that are in the chopped onions have a lot of natural sugars in them. So those natural sugars exude into the milk chocolate brown roux, and the roux goes from milk chocolate really to bittersweet chocolate brown, and that is the secret. Celery and bell pepper
don't have sugar.
They don't have sugars in them. So when you add all three together, the roux gets lighter. And if you've been standing here holding your breath, worried about burning the roux and are you getting it to the right color, you can stand and you can stir, and it is not going to go back down to this very, very beautiful dark color that we've got in the pot right now.
Poppy, this is truly a life-changing technique here. Adding the onions in after we get to a milk chocolate stage to let the sugars caramelize to get that dark stage. That's really cool. I mean, instead of having to stand here for 6 hours and stir and ignore people that they're dying on the floor when I'm stirring my roux, that's the way to do it.
Well, thanks for coming.
Wonderful. Thank you for having us into your home. Meet more farmers, chefs, purveyors, and mixologists at eattv.com.